What is going on? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how I've been able to build my drone business to a place where I was able to make six figures this last year just with drone work, and how I've been able to help other drone pilots get their 107, get licensed, and build a solid business to actually make money flying drones consistently and building a professional brand with people that they trust without having to build like really bid on lower paying pilot networks or lower paying jobs, and really how you can do it too. So let's jump into it. First off, at this point, you probably invested in your equipment. Like you either got a drone or you've been thinking about getting a drone. You've gotten some experience flying, hopefully, and now you're wanting to really make money flying drones, but you just don't know how to get started. This training is designed specifically to just get you to that next level for drone pilots who are actually serious about making money flying drones. Like you're willing to put in the work, like you want to like take action, and you want to operate like a professional. So obviously starting from that, we want to get licensed, we want to get the 107, and we want to fast track that. So really, if you're not serious about getting your license, then this isn't for you. Like that's really non-negotiable if you're going to become like a professional drone pilot. Like you also need a drone, or you need a plan to get one as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're not quite where I need you to be in order to actually implement the stuff properly to see the results that my clients typically get. So this is also not for people who are just like looking to get rich quick, something quick and easy to make money real quick. Like that, if that's for you, then like watch someone else's video on how to do that, because I'm not going to give you that advice. I don't think there's any such thing as that. Like you've got to be willing to put in the work and make the investment. So like especially like if you actually want to build something that's going to work, like I'm going to give you the game plan to do that, but if you don't take action, like you're not going to get anywhere. Like I didn't build my business by not taking action. I took action and then tweaked it and worked on it and got better and better little by little. But if you're just like going to stay stuck and stagnant, then this really isn't for you. So you got to have at least some time to prioritize the business as well, because the business is a priority. The business is important. And we've got to have some specific time. I'm going to jump into how I've been able to do it. I started when I was working full time. So it doesn't mean that you need to have a ton of time on your hands, but you do need to prioritize it and be able to work on the business efficiently and just make it a priority, make it a focus. This really isn't for you if like you're not motivated to really like get moving and grooving, because I want to fast track you from like getting the license, like versus just like getting a course, putting it off, eventually like getting to it, but then like every time you learn some new information, you've already forgotten the like previous information. like like I don't want to do that. I want it to be like, hey, let's rock and roll. Typically I like to say 0 to 107 in less than 30 days. Let's make that happen. I've done that for a ton of pilots already, but it all comes down to your ability to prioritize the business, to prioritize studying and getting to that next level. So we're going to jump into some success stories, some results pilots have gotten over the years being like working with me. But like first off, like getting started in the drone industry obviously sounds super exciting, but it can be hard. Like it can be difficult. It's not necessarily like your fault that you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I get started? Like you want to make sure that you're ready for the 107, and then you have a game plan to actually like make money. You don't want to just invest time and money and resources and energy into something that's not going to get you results. I'm sure like all you've heard is like, oh, you just have to get your license and then clients are going to come like beating down your door once you got a drone. That's not necessarily the case. That's really like step one. Like you got to learn how to actually market yourself after that, and then leverage the clients that you're working with and build credibility in the industries that you're focusing on. So the license is really only that first step. And we want to make sure that that's quick and easy. So that way we know how to fly professionally and we're able to educate our clients on what to do, what we need to be doing when we're actually like flying. So you're probably also thinking about maybe taking a course. There's a ton of courses out there. They've got a lot of great information, but really those courses only give you like the bare minimum. when it comes to getting ready for the 107. Like, okay, here's how to get ready for the 107. And then you're kind of left high and dry after you get the 107 and you're like, all right, guys, I've got my 107. Now what? And it's like crickets. Like, we don't want that. Like, we want to fast track you to getting your 107, getting the first paid gig, and then really building some consistency. So you're probably afraid, like, maybe you're not going to be able to get traction in the business. Like, I get that because I've been there. Like, that's where I started trying to figure out how to build traction. And over the years, I was able to finally get to that point where, like, I was making money, I was getting results and everything. But it did take some time. And for my goal for everyone in the program is to really get you the return on the investment of your time as quickly as possible. So that way you're getting traction like as soon as you can. So, and then like a little bit about me, like you're probably like, oh man, shouldn't you be focusing on your business? Well, maybe I should be. But over the years, like after I was able to really like lock and load and start to make some serious money flying drones and got to making six figures last year after moving to a new state in a new city that I knew nobody and basically had to start from scratch. Like, really, just one too many drone pilots reached out and said, hey, can I get some help? That's really what got me started on like wanting to coach other drone pilots and get them to the next level because people need help. And it was tough for me. Like my first year, I made like $3,000. It was like 6 months. Like I started in May or whatever when I actually got the business incorporated. But like I didn't make a ton of money. And then I finally started getting little by little traction here, like results there. And then like pilots started calling me going, hey, how can we do this? I want to get results. What are you doing to like make it happen? And it's like, man, I can't boil it down into like a 30-minute conversation. There's a lot of like little pieces. One thing like Alex Hormozi talks about is like there's 1,000 golden BBs versus like one silver bullet. And a lot of people want that silver bullet and they're just like looking for it when it's like, hey, do the work of putting in the time for the 1,000 golden BBs and then maybe you'll get somewhere. So that's really what I'm doing. Like the truth is I'm still running my business. I love flying, like, but I also love teaching. Like when I got started, I couldn't find anyone who was actually teaching how to like get paid gigs, how to build the business. More were just like courses on how to get the 107, obviously, and then how to perform certain jobs. But I didn't really need the training when I didn't have jobs lined up. So it was like, okay, well, I guess I got to go find the jobs first and then maybe get training. And the thing is, like, you can do this. Like, even though you might not think so right now, even though you're like worried about, like, okay, what's in store for me? Running through a couple people. So one of the guys in the program, Sean, he has been flying like a ton, did a lot of FPV, but like was struggling to like really motivate to get the 107. We talked. He was like, all right, I want to make this happen within like less than a month. And we made that happen. He got his 107, but then he actually started learning how to like sell his services, build his package structures, his offers, and like his online presence to be like a pro. Like for the first time, like he was actually to like make some money flying instead of just like spending a ton of money and time in an expensive hobby. So we were able to really like dive in like after we got the 107 to then getting like built into the course, growing as a drone pilot, growing as a professional, and like learning how to run the business with other pilots around him to help motivate him and encourage him. And that's really the goal. Like, let's get you to 107 in less than 30 days. So this diagram here is really how I kind of see drone pilots. You probably got started learning how to fly. Like, you're like, man, this is really cool. I would love to make a business off of this because it's fun. And like people are getting value from you flying drones. So let's jump into it, learn how to fly. Then we got to jump up to actually getting the 107. So you're going to start prepping, you're going to start studying. That's really going to be step one for us getting there. And then we get the 107 less than 30 days from now. You're stoked. You show me the card. You're like, yes, I've got it. Like, this is it. Let's rock and roll. And then we focus on getting paid, building out some clients, like working with some people, like David over here contacted his former clients, got some Google reviews, and then he actually got some repeat construction real estate photo jobs next week, like actually paying money because he built out like credibility after getting the 107. Getting some paid gigs, getting some traction. Like also like maybe you did something on Thumbtack, like one of the guys, I think this was Eric, like aerial shoot for a developer. We got a higher end client. Guy almost made $300 on this job. Um, Jake got FAA approval for this project that he was trying to get green light on a construction project that was like $500 a month for like 18 visits. Super, super solid. It's like, all right, so now we're getting paid. We're getting some experience. But at this point, a lot of people can kind of get to here on their own. Like maybe you can get the 107. Some people fail it the first time and then try to take it a second time. None of the pilots that I work with ever do that. But you get the 107, you get it paid, like maybe a couple paid gigs. But then you kind of have this point where like, if you don't get to consistency, where you're getting like consistent clients and stuff, like it's going to be really hard to like keep putting in the work and stay motivated. And this is really where I was at. Like one probably so I got my license in 2018, was learning how to fly, got it, got some paid gigs, but that first year was pretty rough. Then I was like, how can I get some consistency? And it probably took me like a year or so to figure out how to do that while I was working full time. And thankfully, I was able to still get some consistency. It took longer than I wanted it to, but I made it. But a lot of people that I see, maybe they get a paid gig or two, then they keep working on it. They don't really know how to like move forward. And then eventually they get sick of not seeing the results that they want. And then they give up. And that's really what I don't want for you. I want us, step one, to lock in the 107. I want that to be as quick as possible. Then I want us to build out the portfolio and get you some paid gigs like quick, not just like $75 job, but like we want a $300 job. We want a $200 job. Like we want to do some drone mapping like with a subcontractor. Like we want to do that consistently so we're feeling like we're getting traction. Just like Josiah up here. He said when he came into the program, he had his 107, but like he made way more progress in 2 months than he would have in like years. And that's really my goal. It's like, hey, I know it's probably going to take you years if you do it on your own. Like you can do that. It's just going to take a really long time and it's going to be tough. But like the goal is to actually get you a ton of progress. So that way, coming back to this, like you're able to get consistency. The time from like getting the 107 to getting paid to then getting consistency is super, super quick. It's not dragged out over time and then we end up just giving up, or we get the 107 and give up, or we don't even get the 107 and give up because we're like, man, we're just not ready for the test. We don't have the time to like prep, blah, blah, blah. Like we want to be like Ryan, like gonna have 6 jobs this week, did 2 on Monday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's got 2. Like we want to get some consistency. $350 job that was in the works for 3 weeks. Like these are good, like quality jobs versus just like crappy jobs that you get online that are just like low paying. Like, yeah, if you want to like do a couple of those to build experience, that's great. But getting to that next level really takes like what I'm going to jump into next. But before we dive into it, like you're probably wondering like who I am. So a little bit about me. Like I started flying drones, like I said, professionally back in 2018. Just finished flight school. So getting the 107 was like super simple because I had my private pilot license already and my commercial license. They were like, oh yeah, you know way more than a standard drone pilot needs to know. So I took a small course online and they just gave it to me from the FAA directly. But like then I took the recurrency test, so I know what the test consists of and all that stuff and how to prep, how to get ready. But that's really how I got started. And then my first year, like I said, I made $3,000. was not that great. Like, but I got a little bit better like over the years. Like little by little, I kind of kept like pushing my way up. And then I was eventually able to go full time. And that was super, super like exciting for me. And then I also had to eventually move across the country to a new city and start from scratch all over again. And within 6 months, I've been able to build it back better. And this last year was able to make six figures. And it was all through the like last 5 years of all the stuff that I learned to kind of come together so that way I could just really rock and roll in the first few months because I knew exactly what to do and how to get gigs. So since then, I've gotten to travel a ton. Like I've gotten to go to different places around the country, just like capturing drone content for clients. Like that's what's great about Vegas. Like I can travel anywhere. I've been to Houston. I've been to LA a ton. I've been to New York, been back to the Midwest. Like just because clients want to work with me specifically. And I also have contracts in a ton of different states providing drone services. So I know what I'm doing. Like I'm working on this. I'm grinding. Like I'm running and gunning. I'm doing stuff here in Vegas and I'm doing stuff across the country. So first off, the like basically how I want us to get to consistency is like I said, a ton of different things, but it's not super super complicated. Like you can definitely do this. Like you might be like feeling unsure on like how to get ready for the 107 yet and then how to get to the next level, but like the longer you stay in this spot, the way more likely we're never going to even be able to get up to the getting paid, getting the 107, getting consistent. Like we don't want it to be like just like forget about doing this, like it was a dream one day like back in the day, but I'm not going to do it anymore. Like that's what I'm here for, to get you to stay on track, to keep like this really as a priority. And here's how we're going to do that. So starting off with coming into the get the part 107 ASAP. So this course is really just like quick and designed to give you a framework, a game plan for getting the from 0 to 107 in 30 days. This is going to cover like how I'm expecting you to prepare, and I'll be following up with you and all that kind of stuff. But intro to getting the 107, 0 to 107 in 30 days. This is the game plan. This is the schedule for getting prepped, getting ready. So I'll be actually sending you a book that's super helpful on getting you all the information that you need with some practice tests, with the actual difficult questions. See, the thing I've noticed is online, there's a ton of different questions and resources, but a lot of those questions are the easy questions. And we want to make sure that like you're good enough, like you know the answers to the hard questions and the easy questions versus just the easy questions. I was talking to someone the other day, like he took his 107 test twice and failed both times because he was just looking online for like some of the easy questions and didn't realize how hard it can actually be. So we'll send that. I'll give you a 30-day schedule on how to get there. Important links to review for the 107 exam. There's a ton of stuff on the FAA website that I'm going to walk you through. And then we'll plan on getting your IACRA number. So that way you can actually go and get ready and schedule the actual exam. And then here's a quiz walkthrough example of what you should be expecting on how to actually be taking quizzes on a regular basis. But this schedule kind of runs you through that. And really like the book that I'm going to send you has 5 different practice tests with the hard questions. And once we get like a 90, then I know like you're ready to rock and roll. But we got to wait until you get up to that 90% to be like really feeling good. So that way you can crush it on the 107 and then really take off from there. So that is really the first 30 days that we're going to be focusing on. I like to say 80% of our time is going to be spent on getting ready for the 107. And then maybe 20% of the time could be spent on like building experience, flying, capturing content, and all that kind of stuff. But until we have the 107, we really can't go out and start marketing ourselves as a professional drone pilot. So that is step number 1. We're going to rock and roll, make that super quick and easy for you. And then we jump into the getting paid to fly course. Now, this covers a ton of information, but really it's about like the last like 6 years, me being in the industry, what I believe is super, super important to the success of my drone business, what's helped me, and what's going to help you get to that next level. So, started off with the course introduction, needing to book our first gig. We're going to watch this to build some experience and figure out how we could actually get that first paid gig in the first like week or two. So, it's going to be some more experience building jobs versus high paying dollar jobs because you're probably coming into this with not a ton of experience. So we've got to build the experience so that way when we actually market ourselves to higher paying like clients, they're satisfied with our work. We've got the experience and confidence to be able to deliver for that client. Then we jump into making the business a priority. Like this is going to be a business. So we've got to take it seriously. We've got to build a calendar to build momentum. We've got to stay consistent. That's what this program is all about, is really just giving you the ability to motivate yourself and build accountability to stay consistent and really like move the business forward every single week. So pillar number one that we cover, which is obviously super, super important, is drone operations. Now, this area, it's all about being a good pilot. If you're not a good drone pilot, this is going to be really, really hard for you to actually like build a sustainable business because people are going to be wanting to hire you for your experience, for your expertise. If you don't have any, then like you're kind of out of luck. And so this brings you to all the stuff that you need, like the standard procedure sheet that I walked through, the standard shot list that's really important to be able to capture good footage, and like my setup, my accessories, all this stuff to really help you like become an experienced drone pilot while also like working with the FAA, knowing how to do all that kind of stuff, working in controlled airspace, and being able to educate your clients on what needs to be done any given time for any of those jobs. So that is really step number one, being a good drone pilot. That's basically what the business is built off of. And so we have to be able to be a good pilot, professional, and we have to capture really good content. Otherwise, like it's going to be hard to market something that's like not very solid. And like for me, like my goal with the area that I service is I want to be the trusted drone expert in my area. And that's my goal for all the pilots in the program as well. Like, let's get you to the point where you're that trusted drone expert. So that way people go to you directly versus like going to someone else because they're like, no, this person's going to take care of me. And I'm willing to pay a higher price for them because they're so professional, because they're so experienced. And that's why people work with me. That's why people call me to come to LA and like go to different places because they know that I'm going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. So that's step number one. Then we jump into getting to the next level. This is really going to build out our month one checklist for what we want to do. So month one for you is going to be getting the 107, less than 30 days. And then we start with what's our month one like actually getting paid checklist look like. And there are going to be 3 different industries that I'm going to have you break down and really build out on how to market to those industries. And then like fill that out as far as like what the game plan is for our goals, our 1 month goals, 3 month, 6 month, and 1 year goals. We get those down, then we can actually make action items to get to those goals. Because if we don't know where we're going, it's going to be a lot harder to actually like realize if we got there or not. So get into the next level. And then we jump into pillar number 2, everyone's favorite, marketing and getting paid jobs, pricing our services, building out packages that are going to work for our clients. This is how to work for free. There are 5 areas, there are 5 different ways that you can actually use like a free job to get value. There are 5 different ways. So we break all that down so that way the first few jobs, even if they may be free, like where you're doing it for friends or family or whatever, like you're leveraging that to build credibility, to build trust, and to get testimonials to show people you know what you're doing. Like you may be just getting started, but you know what you're doing. So that's really the goal, how to work for free and then leverage that moving forward. So that's number 2, getting paid jobs. Then we jump into number 3, which is like the client workflow and really working on your business. because you've got to be like good from start to finish. You've got to give your clients a professional experience from when they reach out and say, hey, I'm looking for a drone pilot, can you help, to sending them the deliverables and getting paid. All of that gives them the opportunity to judge you with either they know like what they're doing or they don't. And we want to make sure we give them every option to believe like that you know what you're doing, you're taking care of them, and like when the footage comes out good, they have no reason to go to someone else next time. They're going to use you again, and they're going to refer you and give you testimonials. So that's number 3. We run into that. Then number 4, editing content and deliverables. Like that's what we're going to be sending to our clients. So it has to be good. The videos, the photos, the footage, like we've got to be good at what we do as far as the end product, because that's what they're looking for. Even if we're like the best up front marketing our services and stuff, if we can't deliver quality footage, then it's going to be a lot harder to actually get that recurring revenue and consistency. So those are the 4 areas. Really jumping into all those areas. We want to spend our time equally in those areas and build our level of experience and skills to the point where it's quality enough for someone to want to use us consistently. So that is really number 1. The course gets us from 0 to 107 in 30 days, and then getting paid jobs, building out the solid foundation in these 4 areas. And then another thing that you get access to in the program that's super, super helpful is our group coaching calls. And before that, I'm just going to jump through some of these people who have been in the program. Sean, he got his first paid gig like the first week after he got his 107, made $100, not too intense for money, but like experience, which was great. Eric, he's definitely been crushing it as a drone pilot, building out, like just getting more and more quality referrals. He's been able to work with some schools to do some FPV fly through tours and stuff. We've been able to work together for a while now. And like really his big takeaway is just like getting confident in what he's offering and how to actually sell his services and sell his pricing to clients that actually want to work with him. And so he's been able to really build his confidence, build out his marketing, and grow his business properly. And really just get to that next level. That's really the goal with everyone in the program. We want to get results and we want to get you to the next level. Like we got some people, real estate agent wanting me to come out to do a house for them once the snow clears. Perfect. Like we're getting jobs on the calendar, getting stuff booked. Dan talked about getting his first paid job in the first little bit after coming in with his 107, but not really knowing how to like utilize his time to actually get results. Crystal, she came in with her 107, but she hadn't gotten any paid gigs. Didn't really know how to go out and market herself and like connect with potential people who would want her services. And like she wanted to do something with her drone skills. And so within like a little bit, we were able to really get her to that next level. First paid gig was like $300, which was super awesome. We were able to celebrate together and stuff. And she built out her website, started getting some consistent clients, and was able to really like miss all the low paying jobs that she didn't want to like do. She was able to just really like target her ideal client who's willing to pay for quality. So really another thing that we do in this program that helps a ton is live group coaching calls. Here's some screenshots of some of the guys on these calls over the last couple weeks. But with the live group coaching calls, we really get to like dive into one of those 4 key areas that really is important to build your business off of. Sometimes we'll talk about marketing, sometimes content, sometimes delivery. And then we also do like a Q&A sesh to really make sure that you're not stuck, because like when you're in the process, there's a ton of questions that you're going to have. And I just want to make sure that you don't get stuck for too long trying to figure out how to answer those questions, because I've been there. That's what I did. I would get stuck for weeks or months and not know how to like get to that next level. But really being able to ask me, being able to ask other pilots in the program, like, hey, how do you handle this? How do you handle a client like this? How do you follow up? Is super, super important to really get you moving forward and motivated. So I discuss a topic, then we do a Q&A session, and then we do content review. Like some of these, looking just down here, we were going over like some getting started document stuff to fill out. We were going over a diagram of how to get people to know, like, and trust you, and then to pay you, and how we can do that easier and better and more efficiently. But yeah, we really focus on being like engaged as a group. All the pilots in the program are invited onto that call once a week where we can really build the camaraderie and ask good questions and have good takeaways, good action items to then move you forward. Really, another thing in this program is you get access to a community of pilots, like not only on these live calls, but we also have a Discord where we're communicating all day, every day, like throughout the week, keeping each other engaged. Like people who join the program get welcomed in, they add in their social media, we get to follow them and cheer them on. When you come in, when you're a 107 student, you'll be jumped into this chat where, you know, Edgar, I think just got his 107, like, I don't know, a little while ago. So we're like congratulating him, just got his 107, super stoked. And now he's going to be able to help other people who are working on getting their 107. So Francisco, he just joined a couple weeks ago and just got his book, looking for advice. And Edgar is going to be able to give him some advice, obviously me as well. Same thing with Eric. He's jumping in, like giving some ideas on how to just get prepared, get ready, and feel confident. So if you've got questions, if you're like missing like quiz questions, you can send that stuff, screenshot that stuff. And that way, like we can do a deep dive and a breakdown on questions that you may be not feeling comfortable with. And it's usually the sectional charts or the weather stuff. Those two, I would say, are probably like the harder parts of the test. And so you've got a group of pilots that have either gone through it or are working on studying right now. There's probably like 4 or 5 guys that are in here studying, hoping to get the 107 this month. So you'll be joined with all those guys in there. And then once you get the 107, we throw you into the group members section. Then you get access to those group calls where we talk about, you know, building the business in one of those 4 key areas. And then we've got our group chat where we're regularly just communicating, connecting, keeping each other motivated. We're able to share wins here, talk about stuff that we finished, talk about jobs that we've done, talk about lessons that we've learned as well. Like that's super important. So we do the group chat. We've also got a channel for content review where you can actually put footage in. We'll either talk about that on the group calls or, you know, I can just give you feedback and other people can give you pointers in here just to make like your, you know, quality of the portfolio that you have that much better. I want to make sure that when you're marketing your portfolio, it's as good as possible, and having other people like with, you know, put their eyes on something that you've worked on, and it's not just like a family member that says like, oh, that looks great, or oh, that's not great. Like you're getting like solid feedback on how to make it like better, how to get to the next level. So that's the content review channel. And we've also got our website review channel where you can post in like your online presence, whether it's social media, website, and get feedback to just make it that much better. Because otherwise, like you're just trying to like throw darts at a wall going like, I think this might be good to add here, or this might be cool. Like in the course and in this program, we're very hands-on on like giving you specific feedback that's unique to you. So it's all about really building community. You're getting access to a group of pilots who are doing the exact same thing you're trying to do. Get the 107, get your first paid gig, and then get some consistency. Like that's our goal with the live group calls and with the course and with the community. Like, let's get you here. Let's get some consistency. Like, Kevin, one of my local clients, had to do 2 real estate jobs in the area. Like talking to them tomorrow, sweet. Sterling got to go to Texas, flew out there to do a job site, created a CAD overlay for the client, doing a mapping mission. Sweet. Like, let's get you consistent. Another pilot, Joel, he came in, had his 107, but was struggling to really get his business off the ground. And we were able to really work together to change up his marketing message and specifically target who he was wanting to reach out to. So we also changed his pricing up. I was like, dude, you're charging way too little for the quality you're giving. And we basically tripled his profits, got him 4 paid gigs in that first month. Some of those turned into like recurring monthly contracts. And it's like, but he was able to take action. He was able to take the advice from the course, from the calls, from the community, take action in his business, and then get to that next level. So, like I said, if you're not willing to take action, this probably isn't for you. Like, you're not going to get very far. Like, you may be able to get paid like once or twice, but if we're not willing to take the action items that we need to get consistent, like, we're probably going to end up here. But being in this program really allows for you to get consistency and get the results that other pilots that I've been talking about like are getting. So that's really what it is. Like the course, the calls, the community, we want to keep you on track. I want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable, feeling confident. And when you have questions, like you're getting answers. You're not having to go on some random forums. Like by changing a few small things, Joel was able to really solve his like low paying job problem within a couple of weeks after signing up with me. Like then the program just paid for itself. Like from there, he was able to really build a solid foundation and grow his business to the next level. That's what we want. Like we want to get you a solid foundation and like work with the clients that you want to work with the right way and be able to charge like a premium. So at this point, like you've got some options. Like you can try to lone wolf it, go, all right, I'm just going to try to do this on my own, try to get the 107 on my own, try to get paid, try to get some consistency on my own, try to make it happen. You might be able to do that, but guarantee it'll take you much longer while you're trying to figure out all that stuff on your own, looking through forums, trying to do these low paying gigs and like not getting the results that you want. Like at that time, like you won't be actually making money. You'll be trying to just figure out the answers that you're looking for. Like you may like be able to study for the 107 and hopefully you get to the point where you're ready and confident to take it. You don't fail the test a couple times, but like, then what? Like, what are the action steps that you're going to be able to take after that? Or like you could jump in and save yourself a ton of time, invest in your business and go, hey, I'm going to make this a priority. Like I'm going to work on getting the 107 in less than 30 days. Like then we're going to give you a fast track to getting paid jobs. And then we're going to build out the portfolio to get consistency. Like that's really what it's all about. Making this process simple versus like dragging it out for months, for years, and then eventually going, maybe I should just give up because I don't really know what to do. Like I said, it's 1,000 golden BBs. There's not going to be one little silver bullet that's like the difference between this and that. It's all these little things that we tweak along the way to get you to that point. And like you may want to hold off and like wait to get help until like you've got more time, but like the time you're spending right now probably isn't being utilized. Like you probably don't have a game plan for studying for the 107 and then after the fact getting ready to like rock and roll and actually make money. Like I focus on making it as efficient as possible for you, just like I did with my business. Like I had to get to the point where I was being efficient with the time that I spent on the business to move it forward in all those 4 areas. That way, like, you know what you need to be working on at any given time. You've got a game plan, you've got a schedule for the month, and like now you just need to execute. So if you can execute, you're going to get the results. Like you can keep putting it off, but it's only going to hurt you in the long run. Like, so book a call, hit me up, like schedule a time to really get this thing going, to get this off the ground. And then I can make sure that you be a good fit for the program, and then I can really benefit you, based on you being in, I just got to make sure that you're serious and you're wanting to do it. Like, I got to make sure that like you're ready to take action like Josiah. Like I want to make progress. Like I want to actually do this. Like we want to get progress in like building the website, the headshots, like everything to get the footprint online, presenting a good portfolio. Like we want to be able to help realtors to get some experience. Like that's super important. So if that's what you want to do, definitely let me know and we can start getting you some success for sure. Like now that you've learned like that you can speed up the process like a ton by actually like getting results, getting a return on your investment like so far, like isn't that pretty sweet? Like we've got a game plan to make that happen for you. And it's going to be a lot different than like like your day would be so much different if you knew exactly how to study for the 107, exactly how to prep, and you have resources where like you can ask a question any time of the day. You can send a screenshot. Like Francisco sent a screenshot the other day, got 100% on one of his quizzes. Awesome. Like we're also able to give feedback though. Like wouldn't that be great to have that kind of help and assistance this like next 30 days, so that way you're like, you know what, I didn't feel confident going into the 107 and now I really do. And that's just going to continue after you get the license to then actually building the business and being able to ask questions all the time. Like let's get you some consistency, let's get you into the program. Like right now there are probably other pilots that have their 107. They're probably not as professional as you, and they're getting low paying jobs through pilot networks. They're inexperienced and they're getting paid crap, all because clients can't find you because you're not certified yet and you don't have your online presence and your marketing structure built out. But like, it's simple. Like, we've just got to build that trust and like make sure that people actually want to work with you. That all starts with getting the 107 and then moving forward. So by dialing in your portfolio, making sure you can capture good content, like fitting it like into the 3 industries that we're targeting, then we can market to the right clients and like market to the people who want to pay for your expertise. So you probably think like, oh man, I probably need a ton of time to like dedicate to making this happen. Like most of the pilots in the program like have full-time jobs. I like I said, I myself started working with a full-time job. I switched eventually to go like get 2 part-time jobs so that I could have flexibility, and then weaned off the one, weaned off the other, and then went full-time. But like what we do in the program is we make it super efficient. Like it's not like super complicated. It's not super scary. Like it's simple. We just do a lot of the micro actions to get the results. Like just like Joel, like we adjusted a few things, we tweaked some stuff, and then he was able to really like rocket his way up. Like Sean was able to come in that first week after he got his 107, got him a paid gig. Like that's what we do. So like it's definitely an investment. Like you might be thinking like investing in the program is definitely going to cost you. Like you're right. But we're going to give you like in the long run, it's actually not going to cost you because of the time that you're going to save, the time that you're not going to waste. Like we're going to give you the path forward to like ensure you know what you're doing. Like you won't have to like reinvent the wheel on your own. Like we've already done it. We know how to do it. So like, let's just do it for you versus like you trying to figure out like, oh man, how do I make this business? How do I answer every single question that I need to? Like that's going to take you years. And I know because it took me years. Like I've got some scars from the game. I've got some scars from this like industry. Like that'll allow you to learn from me. So that way you don't have to fall into those same pitfalls. But like most of all, like it won't cost you the time it took me to learn all the stuff. Like we can fast track you versus like you learning the hard way. Like if you want to lone wolf it, like it's going to take a lot longer. You're not going to have the support. Like you can do it, hopefully, like, but you might just get burnt out before you ever get to that point where you're getting consistency. And that's really don't want what I want for you. Like, I don't want you to keep grinding, trying to figure it out on your own and like understand the drone industry. Like, that's just like taking a chance. Like, hopefully you stick it out that long to actually get the results. But like when I actually started my business, there were 3 or 4 other businesses in my city that were drone operations. And all 4 of them, after like a year or 2, were nowhere to be found. And I was like looking because I wanted to see where my competitors were, what they were doing. They weren't making money and they stopped. They gave up. Like, because it was like, how do I get to that next level? They didn't really know. And like, that's what we want to do here. We want to get you consistency. Like, we can get you jumping into the program, rapidly speed up your success because you don't have to fall into those ruts, really, like, of getting stuck. So, like, imagine like being able to spend time doing something that you love, getting outside, working with clients that are excited to work with you. Like, wouldn't that be great? Like, it's a ton of fun. Like, yeah, it's a grind, it's work, but it's also a lot of fun when you get to work with the clients you want to work with. Like, can you see yourself denying like the $50 drone jobs that come up, because they will, and being like, no, I don't have to get that because I have something else. I have other gigs that are way more valuable. Like, not having to do that. Like, I know I love doing that. So so if this all sounds good to you, now that you learn like how we're going to get you moving forward to build momentum without having to rely, just on doing it on your own, pilot networks, low paying jobs, courses that don't actually like help you get to the next level. Like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and book in a call. The link will be below. We can chat a little bit more, really see if you'd be a good fit. Come ready to rock and roll though. Like I said, I want people in the program who want to take action. So if you want to do that, book a call, and then we can basically get your onboarding started and get you moving forward to making money flying drones, getting the 107, getting the crash course moving forward, and then really getting you to getting paid, getting consistency, and not having to even worry about giving up. So thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you talking or just watching this video. And I hope to see you on my calendar when you're ready to rock and roll and make this dream into an actual reality. We'll talk to you soon.